What are some common mistakes that people make when solving GMAT verbal? How can you make sure that you don't make those mistakes yourself? How can you approach questions the right way to get an optimum score? I'll be covering all of that and a lot more in this video. Hi, I'm Madhuri, an ISB alumna from the class of 2018. I went through the GMAT journey myself and have taught GMAT verbal to hundreds of students over the past 3 years, ensuring that they achieve their desired score. From my own GMAT experience and that of teaching so many of my students, I have compiled this list of common GMAT verbal traps along with suggestions on how to avoid them. I also want to highlight that my 3-day GMAT verbal crash course is now open for registrations. You can check out the details in the description box and sign up. Before we proceed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it to support my initiative of making a difference to your journey and help me reach 10,000 subscribers. Fingers crossed. If this is the first video that you are watching on my channel, check out this link to know more about me and why I created this channel. For now, let's get started. Trap number 1, rushing. This one is specifically for CR and RC. Let's say you have read the argument or the passage, you have identified the question type, and you are ready to tackle the answer choices. You look at option B and think, yup, B looks good. The passage does talk about it. Let me look at the remaining options because I know I'm supposed to. I wonder how I'm doing on my test. Is my time okay? You glance at the clock and realize, yeah, not too bad. Then you read the remaining options, but you didn't exactly pay attention and think, I can't wait until this is over. Okay, so B is the answer. Basically, once you decide that certain answer or certain option is the correct one, your mind has already started to move on. And this can happen for sentence correction too. The problem comes when another option, let's say option A, is actually better than what you chose. But you didn't notice that either because you didn't read option A in the first place, or even worse, you did read it but weren't actually paying attention. That's the trap of rushing, not giving each option the attention it deserves. The solution for this is to tackle options in 2 phases. Now this might sound like it will take forever, but it won't. Just stay with me here. On your first pass through your options, your decision should strictly be based on a no versus maybe. Meaning, you go through all the options and categorize them as no, I'm never looking at this choice again, it is definitely wrong. Or maybe, this could be the right one, but I'm not totally sure of it. Or I have no idea what this answer choice means. How do you do this categorization? Now that's something that I teach in my GMAT Verbal Masterclass. You can check out the course details and testimonials of my past students on the link mentioned in the description box. For now, let's take a step back and understand the second part of the maybe category that I had spoken about. You are going through answer choices and you don't understand what an option is saying in the first go. So you either eliminate it or you end up spending too much time on it trying to make sense of everything that's written. And that's trap number 2. Eliminating an option because you don't understand what it means, doesn't sound right, or spending too much time trying to understand it. The solution for this is quite simple. If you don't understand what an option is trying to say or how it would be the right fit for the question that you're trying to solve, don't eliminate it, but don't spend too much time trying to decode it either. Keep it in your maybe list during the first scan of your options. Don't think about whether it is right or wrong. Just leave it and go look for other stuff to eliminate until you have gotten through all the 5 options for the first time. Now, after your first scan, there will be 3 possible outcomes. The first outcome is that you eliminate 4 options. So now you can pick up the remaining one and move on to the next question. The second outcome could be that you eliminate some wrong answers, but not all 4 of them. Now we can take a second look at your shortlisted options or your maybe list. This time you're going to closely compare the options with each other. You may not have noticed a particular difference between, let's say, option A and option B during your first scan. But now that you have only a few options left, you can actually spend a little bit of time on each option. The third possible outcome, however, would be that you don't eliminate any options in the first pass. That is where the third trap lies, not moving on. You will think, let me read the question again. I can get this one. How do I just mark a random answer and move on? Let me read it carefully just once again. If this is what you do, you have fallen in the trap of thinking too much, spending a lot of time on a single question and not moving on. My recommendation to not fall in this trap is to just be honest with yourself. When you find yourself stuck with a question, you need to pause and genuinely ask yourself, if I spend just 15-20 seconds more on this question, will I get to the answer? Am I almost there? If the answer is yes, that if I do spend 15-20 seconds extra, I am actually going to get the answer, then go for it. Take those additional 15-20 seconds and mark something at the end of it. But if you think that even if you spend another 2 minutes or 3 minutes on this question, you're probably not going to get it, it's just going above your head, then do yourself a favor. Pick a random answer and move on. You're not going to suddenly get a hunch the 5th time that you go through that question that you're stuck on. Now, this trap is quite common to fall into, especially during the first 10 to 12 questions, because of the myth that the initial questions set the difficulty level of the exam. I always ask all of my students to treat each question equally, because on the GMAT, finishing all of the questions is as important as getting answers right. And there is a higher penalty for not answering questions at all, which might end up happening if you focus too much on the initial questions. So no matter at what stage of the exam a difficult question shows up that you're not able to get through, just tell yourself that it is not worth it, because there might be difficult yet manageable questions lying ahead. Trap number 4. Choosing similarly worded answers. We subconsciously look for options that have similar words as those mentioned in the argument or in the passage, especially for RC and CR. So the test creators mix and match words placed separately throughout the argument or the passage to create an option that will throw you off the right path. The way to avoid this is to ask yourself what the question is asking and whether that information in the option that you're going forward with is already mentioned in the passage or the argument. Because if it is, go back to the argument or to the passage, confirm your understanding, and only then mark that answer choice. Trap number 5. Not reading the question carefully or missing out on certain words mentioned in the question. For example, all of the following can be inferred from the passage except. If you read the question in a hurry, you might miss that except. Sometimes the words such as most or least are hidden in between the question. They are not mentioned in capital letters, neither are they mentioned in bold or italics for your eye to actually catch it. So sometimes for a weaker question, there might be a strengthening option in the answer choices, and you might actually end up picking that if you are in a hurry or if you miss out on connecting that option with your focus point. Now, what's a focus point? That's another thing that I teach in my GMAT Verbal Masterclass. The solution for this trap is to concentrate on what is being asked to make sure that you don't mark the wrong answer choice or even get confused, because 4 answer choices might seem similar and correct if you miss out on the except part of the question, and then you will end up falling in the previous traps too. I cover all of this in a lot more depth along with live concept learning and timed practice in my GMAT Verbal Masterclass. You can enroll for it via the link mentioned in the description box. If there are any concerns that you might be facing with your GMAT prep, be it practicing consistently, understanding what study materials to use, or absolutely anything at all, feel free to type it out in the comments section or book a one-on-one consultation with me via the link mentioned in the description box. Before I do a quick recap of the traps and the solutions, please spare just 1 minute to support my work if you found this video helpful. Subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram because you will be able to communicate directly with me via Instagram messages, and join my community of learners to connect with individuals who are on the same learning journey as you. All the links are mentioned in the description box for your easy access. Now, let's do a quick recap of the 5 common GMAT verbal traps and the solutions to avoid them. Don't rush, tackle options in 2 phases and divide them into no and maybe. Don't eliminate anything that you don't understand. Put it in your maybe pile and compare it with other options that you would have shortlisted in the second phase of scanning. Don't spend too much time on a question. Move on after 2 minutes if you think you won't be able to get to the answer, even with an additional 15-20 seconds. Don't go for similarly worded options. Verify your understanding by going back to the passage or argument. Don't read the question in a hurry. Be clear about what is being asked and scan the options accordingly. What are some other traps that GMAT applicants should avoid? Share it with us in the comment section. Hope you found this video useful. Please like, share, comment and subscribe before you move on. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.